Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If this is your first time here, then as always, it is good to see you and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, welcome to our weekend video. We'll be here in the studio today. Those of you who follow the channel will already know that I normally look to upload 2 videos a week. We normally do a gameplay type related video on the midweek video, which is normally on a Wednesday, and then here at the weekends we'll normally do a studio video, normally on a Saturday, where we look at everything airsoft related, tech, gear, replica reviews, all that good stuff, and everything in between basically. So with that out of the way, what we're looking at today, well, today I thought we'd look at something we don't look at very often here on the channel, sticking with kind of gear, as it were. We're going to have a look at a scope. So for all you snipers out there that predominantly play sniper style gameplay here in Airsoft, or if you're just looking for a decent intermediate range scope, this could be the item for you. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not an expert on scopes, as most of my friends and people who've met me in Airsoft will tell you. However, I can give you an opinion on this one because I have used it for a while. This is a scope I use on my personal sniper, on my Bar 10, that I've done a lot of upgrades to, and I really like it. For the money you pay, I wouldn't say that it's really cheap. You can get much more affordable scopes on eBay, and some of the replicas that you can get from China, they will be much more affordable, but this is affordable for the features you get and the fact that it's a really good quality scope. Now, Hawke might be a company you've not heard of. It's not something I was well versed on in Airsoft. In fact, one of my friends introduced me to Hawke. Now, from the research I did on Hawke, they are quite big in the airgun world. I'm talking, you know, lead pellet airguns rather than airsoft. And they're also got quite a good reputation for firearms. I think in the States, I've seen a few reviews from some of you guys over in the USA, and a lot of people use these on their AR-15 pattern rifles with good success. They can even take full bore rifles in the firearm world and cope with the recoil and hold zero, from what I've read, guys. But obviously here I'm more airsoft related, so it's not a product I've encountered a lot in Airsoft. However, it's really good. So we're going to be looking at my particular one. This is the box it comes in. My one is a 4x32 with an adjustable objective lens for parallax adjustment. We'll get into that in a minute, don't worry. I didn't know what it meant either, but I found out. So, Hawke, I believe, is a British company originally. From what I understand, these scopes are manufactured in China, however, under strict quality control processes and still advertised as a British company. Hawke do make a number of different scopes, so you can get something that will suit your needs, but the prices do vary. When you receive your scope from Hawke, as you can see from the packaging, it is well packaged. It's quality packaging. Nice box, not too flashy, but looks quality. Obviously, you've got details about the scope and some of its features on the back here in various languages. On the side, you'll have Born in the UK and Vision Accomplished, which is their trading ways. On the side, you'll have details about what is actually in the box. As you can see with mine, it's a 4x32 adjustable objective with a mil dot. That's what your AO stands for. And then it has some more information on the other end about the features of the scope and what it actually does. And then this side is just the same. Inside the box, I've taken the scope out because obviously I use it, but inside the box it'll come well packaged in foam, so it's hovering. You won't get any mounts with this scope. You'll get it in a bag with some silica gel pack so it doesn't get any moulding in there, and it does come with quite detailed instructions. Now, these instruction manuals, I'm not going to go through them in detail because it does get quite complex, but they're in multiple languages. They're glossy, they're well printed, guys, and it gives you all the information you need for zeroing your scope. Now, admittedly, guys, zeroing the scope is more aimed at the firearm world or the airgun world as most of you probably know, our airsoft replicas, even on our snipers, generally they aren't consistent enough to zero them in a traditional manner as you would with a firearm, such as a bore sighter, or even putting rounds on target and adjusting. You can do that. There are ways of adjusting your rifle scope. I'll maybe do a video on that in the future on how I adjust the zero on my scopes for sniping. But again, it gives you some details about the features in various languages, which is why they're so thick. But they're well printed, well written, good English in there, so easy to understand. For the other languages, I'm afraid I can't comment on those because I don't speak them, so I am sorry about that. But I would assume, going off the instructions written in English, they would be just as effective and just as good. So that's what you get in the box, guys. As for the scope, I've left mine in its mount. It's a quality looking item, as you can tell. So I think what we'll do, as we do with a lot of these videos normally when we're looking at a replica, but I think I'll give you a look around this scope and then we'll have a chat about it. Okay guys, bear with me. Okay guys, so there you go, we've had a look around it. I'm sure you can agree, looking at it here for me now, it is a quality built item. It feels well made, it looks well made. I have got a number of much more affordable scopes than this that have variable zoom on them, but they don't feel anywhere near as good quality as this scope does. So we are dealing with a properly well made product here. Now that does reflect in the price, guys. I've had a look round at prices for these scopes. If you want one of these, this specific one, the 4x32 with an adjustable objective for parallax adjustment, you are looking at around about 60 to 80 British pounds, which, while not very expensive, when you look at scopes, you'll see you can spend a lot of money on a rifle scope, but 60 to 80 pounds, that's a bit higher than I would normally spend on, say, a red dot, because I normally go for replica red dots, very rarely use them. But obviously when you're sniping, I do tend to use my scope, which is why I spent a little bit more money on the scope, and it's worth doing. So you're looking at about 60 to 80 British pounds for one of these. If you're over in the United States, if you're in the USA, you'll be looking at around about $109 for the same scope. So $109 US, or 60 to 80 pounds British. So, you know, not ultra cheap, but again, not mega expensive. Those of you that shoot firearms will probably agree that that is quite affordable for a rifle scope. Now, getting into it, what's all this stuff mean? Well, basically, 4x32, the 4 refers to the magnification, so it magnifies 4 times. And the 32 is your objective lens diameter, 32mm. Generally, the bigger the objective lens diameter, the more light you can let in and the clearer image you get. There are other advantages, but I don't want to get too much into that. I'll maybe do a separate video at some time explaining all the differences between scopes and what those statistics mean. But generally, the easiest way to look on it for us at Airsoft is it's 4x32, so it's 4 times magnification with a 32mm objective lens. Now, as many of you know, I play in the forest, I play outdoors, up here in the Highlands, in all weathers, and I have had no issues with clarity of vision with this scope with a 32mm objective lens, so it lets more than enough light in for me in low light conditions. And at the same time, the 4 times magnification for me, I think, is more than enough for an Airsoft replica. Now, I know there's some of you guys out there that like the variable adjustment scopes with a variable adjustment zoom. You can get Hawke variable adjustment zoom, but it's going to cost you a little bit more, which, you know, for me, like I say, it's just another thing that I don't really need when I'm airsoft sniping. So for me, it's your own personal choice, guys, but for me, 4x mag is more than enough. So that's why I went for this one, but obviously that's down to personal choice. But Hawke do make lots of other scopes with varying magnifications and also ones with adjustable magnification, guys. So if you do want one with adjustment, you can spend a little bit more and you'll get that as well from these guys. Now the optics on this are multi-coated. It's very difficult to make it out on camera for you guys, but they're 11 layer multi-coated, and what that basically means is it gives you a much better quality image through the scope. And I can attest, guys, that this scope is crystal clear. There is no ghosting in there, there's no hazing, it's absolutely crystal. So you can take that from my word for it, but it is a very good eye picture that you get through the scope, and that's where your multi-coated layered lenses come in. For your adjustment, you are talking a 1/4 MOA. I know, guys, it's another one of these things that, again, I didn't really understand fully. But what that is minute of angle adjustment. A 1/4 minute of angle adjustment. And the easiest way to think about that is if you're aiming the scope at 100 yards target, it adjusts point of impact a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. And that's roughly how they work it, or 1/8 of an inch at 50 yards. Which is more like the range we're going to be working at. So that's what they're referring to. It's very accurate adjustment for your impact point when you zero in the scope. Now again, guys, that's something that you'd worry about probably if you're shooting firearms or even air guns. But for us in airsoft, it is an advantage that you can adjust the scope accurately. But you know, I don't get tied up too much in the minute of angle business. Some of you guys you might know more about it than I do. But like I say, I'm no an expert when we're looking at scopes. But that is generally what it means. So at least you understand what I'm getting at when one of the features of the scope is 1/4 MOA. Okay, guys? The tube itself is a 1-inch mono tube. Now that's one piece. So instead of being two pieces and all joined together and having points of failure, it's a single piece construction which gives it strength. Strength, rigidity, reliability, guys, which is important to us in airsoft. You may not think, because our replicas don't really have recoil or anything, but let's remember, guys, we're running around in the forest playing a simulated combat sport. So our replicas get dropped, they get bashed about, they get wet in all weathers. So, you know, it is important to have something that's strong and can build to last. And this, with its 1-inch mono tube, that's one of the many features that gives it a little bit of strength, guys. So again, something worth looking at. There is a fast focus eye bell on this particular model. What that basically means is that when you're using the scope, let's get rid of these lens covers. When you're using the scope and you look down the eye bell, which is this part here, that's the bit you aim through, guys. Well, you can see it's got a plus and a minus on the top there. Well, you twist this, very similar to you would as a pair of binoculars, until the image comes into sharp focus. So it's got adjustable focus so that you can get your rifle scope set up for the eye relief you want, which is the point on the rifle where you get a good picture through it with the maximum viewing angle. And then you can make adjustments with the eye bell so you get perfect focus, which is good for different shooters. If somebody else is going to be using your replica, or indeed if you swap the scope to another replica and your eye relief is slightly different, it does mean you can get a sharp image using the adjustable focus, which is good. The objective lens, which is your 32mm at the end here, is threaded. I don't know whether you can make that out on camera, guys, but there are threads in there. The advantage of that for us in airsoft is that you can add hoods, sunshade hoods that will screw on, and you can also add kill flashes. Kill flashes for us can serve two purposes. If you're trying to be concealed, guys, it'll stop any reflection from your scope, but more importantly, some of the kill flashes you can attach on there are fine enough that they will protect the lens from BB impacts. Obviously you do get these lens protectors included, which are clear, so you can shoot with them on. I do, but I'm not sure how much protection they would offer from a BB impact, but you know, it's better than having nothing on there. But you can get kill flashes, hoods, all that good stuff on this threaded end bell here. Then we get on to another bit that confuses me, guys, and that's this adjustable parallax adjustment. You can see this on the objective lens that it's got different yard ranges printed on there, and this is twistable, so it does move. Now, what they mean by this, I've looked this up myself. Parallax adjustment is there to prevent parallax errors at different ranges. What I believe is the majority of rifle scopes are set up to be parallax error free at 100 yards. Now, in our cases, very often we're not going to be shooting over those distances in airsoft. We may be, but more often than not, we're going to be at slightly closer ranges. I've got this set up at 75 yards to eliminate parallax errors. And from what I've done in my research, a parallax error is basically where an object can shift its position dependent on the angle you're looking at it. So that can happen that your objective lens here, you're looking at your target reticle, your crosshair, and the object you're looking at will appear in a different point. Your reticle's going to shift based on that parallax error, which with adjustable parallax objective, that doesn't happen. You can eliminate that by changing the range at which you're looking to reduce or eliminate parallax errors. Now again, guys, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's something we need to worry about too much in airsoft, because we're shooting normally at a man-sized target at relatively short ranges. However, I thought it looked cool, which is why I got the one with the parallax adjustment on there. I think it looks really smart. Some of the guys that do a lot more sniping than me at my home site at Tazball Airsoft, they have told me that they do rely on that to reduce parallax errors, and it's worth having. So I will take their word for it, and I've got that on there and they set that up for me. But again, if you know more than I do about scopes, you'll know the advantages of having that adjustable parallax bell on there. But like I said, it's another feature. If you don't think you need it, then you can get this scope more affordably, because they do a version that doesn't have that adjustment on there and just has a plain objective lens. So that is much cheaper than this version. So again, you know, if you want to get more affordable and you don't think you'll need that feature, that option is there from Hawke. They do have that there. Speaking of the reticle, it is mil dot. Mil dot reticle just basically means that it's a crosshair, like your traditional scope cross, and it's got little dots in there for allowing for windage and elevation and things when you're out in the field. You can adjust, obviously, as we already know, for these turrets for windage and elevation, but that allows you to shift on target and compensate for it, if you like. But again, the mil dot, I like it because it's a traditional crosshair and it looks kind of cool. It fits in with the shooting I'm doing. So you've got that in there, which is awesome. Now, speaking of the build quality of this actually comes with a lifetime warranty from Hawke. Now, I know, guys, it's not going to be like some of the warranties you've encountered where they'll cover it for absolutely anything. The lifetime warranty that Hawke offer is for manufacturing defects. They do not cover for abuse or wear and tear. So it's basically a lifetime warranty that if they deem that a manufacturing defect has caused a problem in this. Now, I've not had any problems with this so far, so I've not had to make use of the manufacturer's warranty, so I can't tell you whether that's any good or not. But what I can tell you is they do advertise that they'll give you a lifetime manufacturer's warranty. That warranty is limited to 10 years in Europe. Not sure why, but that's what I found out. So everywhere else, lifetime warranty for manufacturing defects. Another thing worth noting is that this scope, which is good for us in airsoft, is fully waterproof and fog proof, resistant to the cold, so it's safe to use in all outdoor conditions, which is another reason I got it, because I play in the rain, the snow, whatever it might be doing when I'm game on for a game day. So that's good for us guys in airsoft. It means that it is built well. It means you don't have to worry about it getting wet. You don't have to worry about it fogging up. It's all proofed against that, which is great. So overall, guys, them are some of the features of it. That's what it offers. I think you probably agree that's a lot of features for the money that you're paying for basically what amounts to a firearm tested scope for your airsoft replica. Worth looking into, guys. I'll put a link in the description as to where you can get one of these if you do fancy one. Now, I've been using this particular one on my Bar 10. I think I've had this for about 2 years, but I've been using it actively in-game probably for about the last 12 or 18 months. It's been used in a number of games, guys. You'll have probably seen it in some of my videos, maybe some of the pictures with those videos, because I've used this in the Bar 10 when I've been sniping on a couple of my gameplays. And it's not let me down yet, guys. It's had some bashing about. You can probably make out there that it got hit with a BB, which chipped a bit of the enamel off the cover there. But, you know, the scope still works absolutely fine. Just remember, guys, it does not come with scope rings. And it doesn't come with the additional accessories unless you order them with them. Downsides to it, I would say, for me, is cost. But, you know, for what you get, you know, it's not a bad cost, so it's kind of a trade-off. It's a bit more than I would normally spend on a sight, but again, for you guys that know me, you know that I don't normally use my sights. They're just there for the look. However, in the case of the scope, when I'm sniping, I do use the sight, which is why I thought it was worth spending a little bit more money on the scope. But again, 60 to 80 British pounds, $109, decent scope, good quality, good warranty. Again, can't say what it'd be like if you have to claim on it, but it is advertised as lifetime warranty for manufacturing defects. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. So overall, guys, I like it. I've used it a lot. I've had no problems with it. Really crystal clear picture. Well worth paying the extra for this scope over a very affordable one that you might find on eBay or on Amazon from a Chinese replica. Again, I'm not knocking those scopes. I've got a couple myself, but I can tell you that compared to the other scopes I've got, this does have a much clearer picture. Again, lots of different options there. If you go on Hawke's website, you'll see all the range that they do. They can go very insanely expensive depending on what you get. So there you go, guys. There's some features of that. That's the 4x32 scope that I use on my sniper when I'm out sniping. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and you found it interesting. I hope it's given you some ideas of what to look for on your next scope if you're just stepping into the realms of sniping. If you have any questions about this particular item that I use, or any questions about airsoft in general, then do drop me a question or a comment below. I'll always respond to comments. I might not get back to you straight away, but I will always respond. And if you have enjoyed this video, guys, then do please drop a like on it. And if you've been enjoying my series of videos, then as always, do get subscribed to the channel, and then you won't miss any of my uploads. And if you want any further content from myself, you can find Rock Bottom Airsoft over on Facebook and Instagram, and on there there's pictures of all my various adventures in airsoft, whatever I put up on there. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.